Today I am going to discuss some questions. Some questions related to relation, and in the beginning I took the question, this one. In this question, this one is very important question, and many a times this question has been asked in the board, 12th board. In this question it is said a relation R is defined in this way over a set A. This relation R I am writing here is defined in this way such that A minus B modulus is divisible by 3 is divisible by 3 is divisible by 3. Whenever you are getting A minus B modulus, then it signifies that we are talking about the difference of A and B. Difference of A and B will never be negative. It is always positive. Okay, so here this relation is defined in this way over a set A which contains these 5 elements 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And now for the purpose we are taking some general proof of this one. For reflexivity, as you know, for reflexivity, we always take an element from the given set. Okay, from a given set, we take an element for reflexivity. So, let there is an element A inside this given set A. Then our duty is to show that A comma A is also a member of this relation. If it happens, then we will say that this is this is reflexive, otherwise this is not a reflexive relation. So in the process of checking it, we are to have this particular condition in our mind. So first of all, you just think about the situation like this: A minus A modulus, because now we are to take the first element A as well as the second element A. So why I took here A minus A modulus, and we got this one is 0, modulus of 0, that is 0, and we know that 0 is the number which is divisible by any number except 0. 0 is divisible by all the numbers, so why it is divisible by 3. So this is divisible by 3, which is divisible by 3. And if it is divisible by 3, then we conclude that A comma A belongs to R. That means it is fulfilling the given condition for being a member of the relation, and that condition was this: A minus A modulus is divisible by 3, and it is fulfilling the given condition for being a member of the relation. So we conclude that this pair belongs to R, and if this pair belongs to R, then we conclude that R is reflexive. R is reflexive. Okay, R is reflexive. And mind it, if R is reflexive, then we are to go through to know about its symmetricity. For the purpose of symmetricity, we take an element from the given relation. Yes, you are right. So we take an element from a given relation. So we suppose, first of all, I am putting the heading for symmetricity. Symmetricity. For this purpose, we take an element from the given pair. So I'm writing here, let A comma B belongs to R. So we suppose that A comma B, a pair, is belonging to the given relation, and since it is belonging to the given relation, it must satisfy the given condition for being inside it, and that condition is this: modulus of A minus B must be divisible by 3. So clearly modulus of A minus B is divisible by 3, ऐसा हम लोग सपोज कर रहे हैं. Okay, so A minus B modulus is divisible by 3, and now I want to show that I am representative of you, and I want to show that B comma A belongs to R, and it will belong to R only when modulus of the difference of these two will be divisible by 3. Okay, will be divisible by 3. Check it. This is negative of this one. Okay, this is negative of this one. So we should now manage it this one. Tell me, can I write in this way to this is divisible by 3? Is this a statement correct? Is this a statement correct? Yes, it is correct. Actually, we know that modulus of 2 is equal to 2 and modulus of minus 2 is also equal to 2. That means modulus of x is equal to modulus of minus x. So, modulus of x is equal to its modulus of its negative. So, modulus of x in place of modulus of x, I can write minus x modulus of minus x. So I have written here a minus b. In place of that one, you take this one as x, then minus x means minus of a minus b. So modulus of a minus b is always equal to minus of a minus b modulus. So having that one, having that one, having that one, I have written here, and now it became b minus a inside the modulus. When I have opened the bracket, it became b minus a is divisible by 3, and it is fulfilling the given condition for being b comma a inside the relation. So now it fulfills the condition. So we can write b comma a belongs to R, and now you are clearly seeing that a comma b is supposed to be a member of R, and we conclude that b comma a belongs to R. So it means R is symmetric. R is symmetric. Okay, so R is reflexive as well as symmetric, and now we want to check it whether it is transitive or not. To check this one, first of all, I would like to recall the same thing. We are supposed to take two elements from the given relation. So now, for the purpose of transitivity, transitivity, for this purpose, I am taking two elements from the given relation. Let a comma b belongs to R and b comma c. Mind it, whenever we suppose, we are always taking care of this. The second element of the first pair must be the first element of the second pair. So here b and here is also b. So a comma b is supposed as an element of R. Again b comma c is supposed an element of R. And now it's our duty. It's our duty to show that a comma c, a comma c is a member of R. A comma c is a member of R. That means a comma c belongs to R. And we know that if we say a comma c belongs to R, then it is possible only when a minus c modulus is divisible by 3. Is divisible by 3. Now, first of all, think about the situation. Can if you just think, if these two are supposed, then it means that modulus a difference b is divisible by 3, and b minus c modulus is also divisible by 3. So these two are due to the supposition. These two are due to the supposition. And now we want to show that a comma c belongs to R. That means modulus of a minus b is divisible by 3. You just think about the situation and have a proper step for that. If these two are added together, suppose that these two are added together, I am supposing a minus b and b plus c. If these two are added together, suppose that added together, then these two will be cancelled out and then we will get a minus b. But mind it, whenever it is inside the modulus symbol, we cannot add these two as this. I mean if it is written a minus b plus b minus c, we cannot write modulus a minus b plus b minus c. We cannot write it because 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 modulus of a plus modulus of b is never equal to, it is not usually equal to modulus of a plus b. So we should not write in this way. We should not write in this way. So if we cannot write in this way, what should be done? It is very easy task for you people. Actually, first of all, take it out from the modulus symbol. So you take it out a minus b from the modulus symbol. That means आप modulus के बाहर उसको करो. How can we do this one? It is very easy to say that we should take it out from the modulus symbol. So, but how can we take it out? Suppose that modulus x is equal to 3. Modulus x is equal to 3. Then we can write to this one as this modulus can be written as plus minus x, because we know that modulus x is sometimes x, and it is sometimes equal to minus x. Okay, and that sometimes is due to this. If x, the number inside the modulus symbol, is either 0 or greater than 0, 0 or positive, then we write for this modulus x as an answer x. But if a number that is put inside the modulus symbol is negative, less than 0, is negative, then to make it a positive, we usually multiply to the given number by a negative sign. So it becomes positive. And now we are doing the same thing to take it out, to take a minus b outside the modulus symbol. So first of all we suppose let modulus a minus b is equal to 3m. Because it is divisible by 3, so it will be multiple of 3. So it is multiple of 3. I can write this one. Now it can be written as a minus b is equal to plus minus 3m. That means a minus b, if I write here modulus x is equal to 5, then it means x is equal to plus minus 5. So having this concept, we can write a minus b is equal to plus minus 3m. Now this one has been kept out from the modulus symbol. Okay, so take this one as 1. Now b minus c is again supposed as a multiple of 3. Let this one is 3n. Here m belongs to any integer, it will be any integer. Okay, multiple of 3, that means product of 3 and an integer. Okay, quotient must be integer here. Now it can also be written as plus minus 3n as the previous one. I am writing here 2 for this. And अब देखो आप ये और ये दोनों, now these two are taken away, taken out of the symbol of modulus. अगर इसके बाहर आप ला रहे हो, now these two can be added together. These two can be added together. So now add these two, a minus b plus b minus c is equal to plus minus 3m plus minus 3n. And now after opening the bracket, after being open, these two b's can be cancelled out and we will have a minus c is equal to, take 3 as common because we are only to check whether these two are, this one right hand side is a multiple of 3 or not. So take 3 as common, so plus minus m plus minus n. Now think about these two. These two m and n are integers. These two m and n are integers, and their plus or minus sign, they are also integers. So with plus or minus sign, these two will be integers, and sum or difference of two integers is always integer. So this is an integer. So we can write, therefore a difference c is divisible by 3. Now tell me, is it sufficient to show that a comma c belongs to R? No, not at all. Actually, to show this one, it is necessary to check. It is necessary to check whether a difference b is divisible by 3 or not. Modulus of a difference b. Modulus of a minus b is divisible by 3. So we are having here a minus c is divisible by 3. So we should not conclude here. We should put one more thing here. Therefore, modulus of a difference c is also divisible by 3. Divisible by 3. And now tell me, if modulus of a minus c is divisible by 3, then it is fulfilling the condition. So we can say a comma c belongs to R, and hence a comma c belongs to R. Hence a comma c belongs to R. Therefore, R is transitive. R is transitive. And if R is reflexive as well as symmetric and transitive, then we say that this relation is an equivalence relation. So this is an equivalence relation. Therefore, R is an equivalence relation. Equivalence relation means a relation which is reflexive, symmetric and transitive, all these three. So this relation is an equivalence relation. So now this question has been solved very easily. Suppose that one asked to you as a question, one asked to you, write down write write down write all the elements to which one is related. One is related. One is an element of the set. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These five numbers are elements of the set A, and the question is this: write down all the numbers. Write down all the numbers of this out of these 5, which is related to 1. Now tell me, which numbers are related to 1? Only those numbers whose difference from 1 will be divisible by 3 will be paired with 1. So suppose that 1 is related to x. Let 1 is related to x. That means modulus 1 minus x must be divisible by 3. Otherwise it won't be related to 1, won't be a member of R. So 1 minus 1 is divisible by 3. Okay, now tell me, if 1 minus x is divisible by 3, then surely 1 minus x modulus 1 minus x is divisible by 3, then surely 1 minus x is also divisible by 3. And now think about the values of x. Actually the set A is having elements 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. These 5 elements are kept inside A. And now if we say that 1 minus x is divisible by 3, now think about, in place of x, if you write 1, then it's okay. It will be divisible by 3. 1 minus 1 is equal to 0, and 0 is divisible by 3. Any number. If you put here 2, then it is not divisible by 3. If you put here 3, again it is not divisible by 3. If you put here 4, then it is divisible by 3. Okay, so when you put here 5, again it won't be divisible by 3. So only these two elements 1 and 4 are associated to 1, are related to 1. Therefore, the required set, the required set of elements is equal to 1 and 4. Now, for the sake of having some concept, I am putting one more thing here. Actually, I took this example to make something clear, to make you clear, to make you having the proper concept regarding reflexivity, symmetricity, transitivity, and equivalence relation. So now you are good enough to understand how we will handle a question to show it is an equivalence relation or not. In the process of that one, I want to make one more thing here. I want to put one more thing here, and that is equivalence class. Actually, equivalence class, it will be discussed later, but I am here taking some time to make it clear. Okay, first of all, you think about the situation. The question was asked that write down the numbers which are related to one. वन जिस जिससे रिलेटेड है उन नंबर्स का आप लिस्ट बताओ. देन वी got 1 and 4. These two numbers are related to 1. Actually 1 comma 1, 1 comma 4 are members of the relation, because difference modulus of the difference of these two is divisible by 3. So these numbers are related to 1. 1 is related to these two numbers. Again, it can also be written in this way. Under this bracket 1, which is read as equivalence 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 class of 1 is equal to 1, which is equivalence class of 1. Actually, this symbol is for equivalence class of 1, and it means that you are to collect those elements, those numbers which 1 is related. 1 जिस जिस से related है उनको आप collect करो, उनको collect कर करके आप उनको लिख डालो, and this has been done. So this is the solution of this question, and now I would like to quickly discuss one more question. Okay, in this process, I took an example of this. I took a question. This question is again a simple question, not a difficult question one. Not a difficult question one. In this question, given non-empty set X, X is a non-empty set considered Px, power set of X, which is the set of all subsets of X. Define a relation R. R is a relation defined on the power set X as this. For subset of A, B, this one, it is said that A comma B is a member of R, belongs to R, such that A is subset of B. The first one is the subset of the second one. And now we are to check its reflexivity, symmetricity and transitivity. So quickly come over for reflexivity. For reflexivity, we should take one element from the given set, and the given set is the power set. So suppose that A is an element of the power set X. Clearly it means that A must be a subset of X. We know that power set of X is a set of all the subsets of X. So clearly, if A belongs to power set of X, then A must be a subset of X. Okay. So A is a subset of X. And now we want to check it whether A comma A belongs to R or not. So in this process, you just think about the situation. A is subset of A. We know that every set is subset to itself. Every set is subset to itself. And if every set is subset to itself, that means this A is subset to itself. And if A is subset of A, as this one is written here, A is subset of X, then A comma X, A will be a member of this one, B will be a member of this one, and then A, if A is subset of B, then we will say that A comma B is inside the relation. So if A is subset of A, that means A and A can be paired and will be a member of the relation. देखिए, अगर कहा जा रहा है कि एक पेयर ऐसा होना चाहिए जिसमें फर्स्ट एलिमेंट दूसरे एलिमेंट का सबसेट हो, तो आप इसमें देखो कि ए और ए होगा कि नहीं होगा. फॉर दैट पर्पस वी आर ओनली टू फाइंड इट आउट वेदर ए इज सबसेट ऑफ ए और नॉट, एंड वी नो दैट ए इज सबसेट ऑफ इटसेल्फ. So A comma A must be a member of R. Therefore, this relation R is reflexive. So quickly think about the symmetricity. For symmetricity, we take an element from the relation. So let A comma B belongs to the relation. A comma B belongs to the relation. Therefore, we say that A is subset of B. We know that if A comma B are related, A is related to B, then it is possible only when A is subset of B according to the definition. So A is subset of B. Now think about its converse situation. If A is subset of B, will B a subset of A? आप बताओ, अगर आपको मैं बता दूं कि A के सारे एलिमेंट्स B में हैं, then can you conclude that all the elements of B must be elements of A? No, never. Suppose that A has elements 1, 2, 3 and B has elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we say that all the elements of A are elements of B. But at the same times, all the elements of B are not contained in A. So we cannot say that we cannot conclude that B is a subset of A. So B is not a subset of A. Okay, so clearly it is not symmetric. Therefore, B comma A does not belong to R. Therefore, R is not symmetric. So, आपका आंसर तो यही हो गया. It was to check R is an equivalence relation. Is this correct? No, not at all, because this relation is not symmetric, and if any relation is not symmetric, then it cannot be an equivalence relation. So it is not an equivalence relation. So answer is done. But now I want to check its transitivity also. So for transitivity, take two pairs from the given relation. Take A comma B belongs to R as well as B comma C belongs to R. Then it means that A is subset of B and this B is subset of C. Now tell me, if all the elements of A are in B and all the elements of B are in C, then can we say all the elements of A are also in C? Yes, we can. So from this one we can conclude that A is subset of C, and if A is subset of C, then A comma C must be a member of R. So R is transitive. But mind it, it is not an equivalence relation because it is not symmetric. It is not symmetric. However, this relation is reflexive and transitive, but being not symmetric, it cannot be an equivalence relation. Hence, it is not an equivalence relation. Balance relation. Okay. So in this session of discussion, I took two examples, two questions, two big questions to make some points clear, and I hope it is done. So for the next questions, have some patience and go through the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.